So a £200,000 tax bill might end up at a £450,000 tax bill. It's crazy. I have no idea why business owners aren't.
Do they not know? I guess they don't know.
They don't know.
They haven't realised yet.
They don't realise it. Genuinely, they don't realise it. That's the biggest problem.
This is a nightmare.
Even worse than that, people are going to have to start getting to riba as well. This is an absolute bombshell for families. Absolute bombshell. It's going to change everything. And there's planning that can be done. So, for example, between now and April 2026, we've got a window of opportunity to...
When you say the inheritance tax planning, I think there's this idea of, are you trying to avoid tax? Are you trying to escape tax? Like, how does it work exactly? Because the standard inheritance tax is 40% in the UK, right? Which is pretty steep. Steep.
Yeah.
How do you get away from that? Are there mechanisms you can use?
I wouldn't use the word get away, but yeah.
Okay.
No, it's...
How do you, within the confines of the law?
Exactly. No, it's... look, there's so many ways to deal with it. There's so many ways to deal with inheritance tax. Number one, it's actually knowing whether you have an exposure or not. Now, for every individual, there's an allowance of £325,000. So between husband and wife, that's £650,000. On top of that...
Which is tax-free.
Tax-free. On top of that, you can get an additional allowance called residence nil rate band of an extra up to £175,000 each.
Sorry, called a what?
Residence nil rate band.
Residence no rate band.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that adds on an extra £175,000 per individual. So again, between husband and wife, it's an extra £350,000. That brings the total allowances up to £1 million. Now, it might be that you only get 650,000, not the full $1 million, because it all depends on a number of factors. But let's say that between husband and wife, £1 million allowance is available. A penny over £1 million, that's when you got inheritance tax exposure.
Wow.
Now, any value above that, then you're going to pay 40%. Now, there are certain reliefs that can be used to try and remove certain assets out of the inheritance tax charge. For example, and this is a big area, and big changes are coming in April 2026, is a business relief. So for any business owner that operates a normal trading business, be it a shop or a wholesale business or a manufacturer, dessert shops, whatever it might be, takeaways, whatever it might be. Historically, all of these trading businesses, they could pass on that business to the next generation on death, not pay a penny in tax, because a trading business would qualify for 100% relief. However, from April 2026, that has completely changed. The government announced in last autumn that business relief will only be available at 100% for the first £1 million of assets. Anything above that, only 50% relief. Now, that might not seem like, oh yeah, it's still got relief. Let me put it into an example. Let's say Mr. Khan, he operates a chain of restaurants. The business is worth £2 million. And in all honesty, it doesn't take much to get a business worth £2 million. In all honesty, people think, oh, it's a huge, huge number. It doesn't take much to get to that number. Under the previous rules, full £2 million business, pass on to next generation, no tax, no problem. However, under the new rules, there will be a £200,000 tax charge on the same business.
Because £1 million is
tax-free.
Tax-free, then the remaining
get 50% relief, so that leaves £500,000 exposed. 500,000 at 40% is £200,000. Now, 200,000. Who has 200,000 lying around? That means...
Oh, and the business isn't liquid.
Exactly.
Either, right, okay. So,
exactly.
But
so
now suddenly you have to pay that in cash.
That's the biggest problem. People are like, okay, tax bill. But 200,000 is number one, it's not a small number. Number two, how do you pay for it? Now, I'm seeing so many people thinking about, like, you know, okay, what do we do in this scenario now? You're either... Potentially, what we're going to see is more and more people selling businesses.
You'll have to, yeah.
Because it's just like, we don't have assets that are going to be able to pay for this, number one. So just sell the business. Whether they sell it during their lifetime now, because they're like, you know what, I don't have a business to even, I've got no one to pass it on to. No one's going to run the business for me because my children are involved in other things. They don't want to run this business. So I'll just sell the business. That means selling the business during their lifetime. They are going to pay tax on selling the business if they haven't done planning. Then they're going to still have to pay inheritance tax because now they've swapped a £2 million business for £2 million worth of cash.
And there's no relief.
No relief on cash. Or if you invest it into lots of property, there's no relief either. So you still got inheritance tax bill. Or they're going to sell it after they pass away. The family are going to be like, we're just going to have to sell it, which means a fire sale, and then it just has to be sold wherever they can, and then pay it over to HMRC. Or people are selling other assets to fund the liability. So let's say that they had a property or two that everyone was thinking, you know what, we're going to inherit this, so that will then support the family going forward, or at least support my spouse after I pass away. That's going to have to be sold.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like
Even worse than that, people are going to have to start getting into riba as well.
Yeah.
Because they're going to take a loan. Some people are going to be like, I'm going to take out a loan to pay the bill. So that means getting into riba to then pay off an inheritance tax liability. Some people will be like, okay, then I'll just try and continue running the business to then pay the liability. That's probably one of the worst scenarios as well, because you're paying even more tax that way. Let's say it was a £200,000 bill. You've now got to generate profits going forward, which is going to be subject to corporation tax. You've then got to take out that profit from the business, which is subject to a dividend tax charge. Then you've got to pay that to HMRC. So a £200,000 tax bill might end up at a £450,000 tax bill. It's crazy.
This is terrifying.
You know, we're seeing farmers go out on the streets for marching, protesting. I have no idea why business owners aren't. Honestly,
do they not know? I guess they don't know.
They don't know.
They haven't realized yet.
They don't realize it. Genuinely, they don't realize it. This is an absolute bombshell for families. Absolute bombshell. It's going to change everything. And there's planning that can be done. So, for example, between now and April 2026, we've got a window of opportunity to do trust planning where we can utilize that 100% relief, but before it goes down to 50% relief. That means that we can start to put shares in a business, trading business, into trust without incurring a tax charge. Okay. Doesn't matter what the value of the business is. It might be £100 million business, no tax charge.
None whatsoever, even over the 1 million.
Yeah, exactly, because at the moment it still qualifies for 100% relief. It's from April that everything changes. But you put that same business into trust later on, or some of the shares into trust later on, you're going to have a very big tax charge.
Oh, I see. So when it changes in April 2026, it's only going to apply for things that weren't in a trust.
It applies to any business thereafter. Basically, whatever the structure is. If it's in a trust, it's already protected, whatever's in the trust.
Fine, but if you put it in the trust before.
Exactly. So now going forward, basically business owners need to start taking action, particularly between now and April. If they don't, honestly, you're just, again, you're hoping, you know, it's, well, the example I just gave earlier about inaction and then regretting it later on. The price later on is going to be very, very, very high.
Not just on you, on so many members of your family.
Yeah. I've seen people, again, families torn apart because they were saying to the son, you're working in the business. Why didn't you speak to dad and get this sorted out? Why didn't you deal with this? You made the mistake, you pay for it. All of these things come out. And by the way, people sometimes say, oh yeah, my children are fine. They're practicing. They won't deal with it. They won't do this. Guys, Shaitan has been playing this game since day one. You are up against Shaitan here. He will completely destroy your family. It's not that people are bad. Shaitan is the one that you're playing against here. He will whisper to them and make them do things that are... This is his territory. This is his home pitch. He knows exactly how to exploit people, how to play them. You're leaving them fully exposed to Shaitan here. If you just take action, you're protecting them. You're protecting them from that.
Thanks for watching Muslim Money Talk. We pull these clips from our full-length episodes to bring you the most actionable insights, serious discussions, and interesting stories from our guests. If this clip resonated with you, you need to watch the full conversation. The link is right in the description. Remember, knowledge is useless without action. That's why we built Kestrl, a tool to help you finally grow your wealth without compromising on your beliefs. We're the UK's first ever Sharia-compliant debit card with halal monthly returns, all within a sleek, intuitive app designed by our incredible team at Kestrl. We're giving our first 1,000 users free access for life. Join the Aleph users waitlist today. The link to sign up is in the description. Thank you, Assalamu alaikum, and see you next time.